Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to another Mortal Kombat 11 video. So this time I'll be talking about the 5 things that you should know while fighting Sub-Zero. So in this video I'll be talking about Sub-Zero's resets, fuzzy guard, and few other stuff which you need to know while fighting Sub-Zero and how you can counter them. So those are the things which I'll be explaining in this video. Hope this video will help out to learn more on how you can fight Sub-Zero. So with that said, leave a like if you enjoy it, and let's get into the guide. So the first one is reset. Sub-Zero is well known for reset. So what is reset when it comes to Sub-Zero? That is, when he does the back 1-4, that is when the reset kicks in. So after back 1-4, you can either go with the low, which you can see here, or with the high, because the opponent will have only 4 frames to do something which they can't, so that's why they have to block it. Now let's take a look at the online rank match clip here. So after that I'll talk about the reset.
Round 2, fight! Finish him!
Alright, so this might be the case if you don't know what's going on with the reset. So what I did there is to see, is he gonna do the get up or not. So that's the first thing what I did, and since he didn't, I just continued to pressure him by doing 2 lows and then overhead, or 2 overhead and then a low. So because I was able to know what he's doing by using my block strengths. So let's talk about the resets here. What are options you have? So after the reset, if he does the forward 2-4, you can roll forward. So that's an option. That's there. So after the reset, if he does the forward 2-4, you can go with the get up, which is the invulnerable one. That is up into 3. Don't use the up 2 because you will be caught in a crushing blow. You can also roll back. That option is there too, but keep in mind when you do the roll back, hold the block, because sometimes the opponent's attack will interrupt you. And you can do the delayed wake up, right? You can do the delayed wake up when you don't have a meter, so that also works, but hold the block when you wake up. That's really important. Now one more thing is doing a fuzzy block or fuzzy guard. So that I'll be explaining at the end how you can do it, but the timing on that is really like small, and you have to do that really fast. Look at that. So you have to be careful. After that you can counter them by using the grab or something else. And you can also, if he is going for the overhead, you can interrupt him with your lights because it's much faster. So you can do that too. And for the thin ice variation, you have to be really careful because he has an option of going for an overhead and a low mix-up at the same time. So if the opponent is doing this more, you have to watch it. Look at that. It's kind of scary though. Alright, coming to number 2, that is when can Sub-Zero use the grab and what can you do about it? So after every attack, you can go with the low poke into grab. So that is the thing which I use the most. So I think most of the other people do use it. So this is kind of a tricky situation where you don't have anywhere to run and take the hit, but there is a way. You can also do it with after back 1-4. So that also works with Sub-Zero. But the thing is, you need to note how many times is the opponent doing the low poke. So you can just duck and not block and do the down 2 to get a crushing blow. So that works too. Next would be if Sub-Zero is trying to do the overhead a lot. That means we will be trying to block high the next time when he does the reset. So at that point, Sub-Zero can go with the grab rather than doing the 2-4. Forward 2-4. So you have to watch that and keep in mind you can do the get up in order to avoid that. Next up is Sub-Zero's back 1-4. After that you can go for the grab. This will act as a surprise. One way to escape this would be to practice the grab escape, or you have to keep note of the Sub-Zero's moves, what he's doing, and predict it. The other one would be after doing the forward 2, you can go for the grab, because I myself will be expecting forward 2-4, and instead Sub-Zero goes for forward 2 into grab. So that's also, you have to keep that in mind while playing against them. And you can actually get rid of the grab by doing the mini jump into overhead if you get a knockdown. So that works really well. But you would have to see what the opponent is doing. If he is doing the grab every single time, this would be a perfect counter, right? Next would be if they're doing the forward 2-4 into grab every single time, and you're trying to roll and escape, it's not going to work. So you have to keep that in mind. The only way to beat that would be to do a delayed wake up, or you have to do the up 3 would be the best get up which you can do there. Coming to the third one, which is the special moves. So coming to the Thin Ice Sub-Zero variation, he has the slide which dodges the high attacks. Now you have to keep that in mind at the end when you're trying to kill the opponent using the special moves. And for Death of Winter, you have the Amplified Fireball, which cancels all the projectiles thrown out by the opponent. Keep that in mind too. And Sub-Zero can use the Ice Ball if I am trying to do the wake up there. So keep that in mind. Next would be the Thin Ice variation, where you can do the down back 2. So that also works during wake ups. And to counter that, try doing the roll back. Don't do the roll forward or delayed wake up, because you will get hit again, or you need to block it. Now the next one would be the Polar Axe. This is a really good tool. After you use that and get a hit, you can confuse them by doing the slide, because they won't be blocking low, most of them. So there's different versions, mini jump into Polar Axe, and even like further away distance, you can use the Polar Axe and confuse them. So in order to beat this, you would have to dash forward and counter them. You would have to dash forward and counter Sub-Zero, or you have to quickly do the jump into heavy. Well, for Scorpion there is more options, but I'm just talking in general, right? Now you can also do the slide to after the wake up, not during the wake up though. So that also confuses the opponent, because they won't be blocking low as soon as they wake up. Some of them. Yeah, on wake up you can also use the Polar Axe, and again use the slide. That also works. So he has a lot of options. Thin Ice has a lot of zoning options though, compared to Death of Winter. Alright. Number 4. So what options does Sub-Zero has after the low poke, and how can you counter it? So after the low poke you can go with 1-2. That works, but you just have to give enough gap. It's not a true block string, but I think pro players tend to use this. And you can also go with low poke into 2-1. That also works, but you just need to practice this a lot. In order to avoid this, you would have to block the upcoming attacks. There's no way around it. And if this is happening too much, practice spacing and keep the gap between you and the opponent. And the last thing which I want to talk about is number 5, which is the Fuzzy Guard against Sub-Zero. So what is Fuzzy Guard? So you can see after you do the reset, if Sub-Zero does the low, it is 13 frames. If he does the high, it's 19 frames. So that means you would have to block low and then high, no matter what. So this is the concept of fuzzy guarding. So here, after he does the reset, I'm trying to block low and high at the same time. So you can see at the end I was able to do it, but the timing on that is really tight, so you would have to practice that. And it's really risky, so just be careful in doing that. Alright, so hope you guys enjoyed it. I will see you guys in the next one. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.